We're going to go with the go-to topic that I absolutely love, which is forgiveness, because it's not necessarily easy, but on the spiritual path and healing, it is probably the most important thing that we should be doing, even though I don't like to use should, but it's the one of the most important things that we can do to propel us forward, to bring in more love. And it's definitely something we can do that just by ourselves, which I really like. And we could do it all the time. And we could and should probably do it for absolutely everything. I don't follow a particular religion, but I do talk about love a lot, and there's probably teachings of this and that and the other thing that it sounds like, but I've never read the Bible. I've never really read a lot of stuff like that. It's just what I think the forgiveness thing, I really latched onto that when I was looking somewhere, Aaron Buke or someone, totally probably botched his name, but I was looking at, he had something about number one thing you could do to improve your psychic gifts. And as a medium, I'm always like looking into psychic stuff, right? Wanting to improve my perception, extra sensory perceptions, right? That's really all it is. So I did like a week or something of forgiveness. I asked Spirit, like, hey, come and help me. Got some really great uh, kind of meditations, more ceremonial, longer things that I can do that are even on my channel that I shared uh, from Spirit, because they're super awesome helping with that. Uh, but you could do it by yourself. You could do it easily. One of my favorite, you could do it for everything. My favorite recently is I forgive my body, right? I forgive my body for all the fear it holds, is one of my things I've been singing lately. It's pretty fun because we hold, our body is the record for this lifetime. And so it can hold, if you're into somatics, if you've been doing trauma work, um, that's what the somatics and somatic experiencing, body sensations is, right? Working with the body, releasing the energy that's stored in the cells and stored in the fascia and stored in all kinds of other miscellaneous areas, which I haven't really studied too much other than my own experience. I ask Spirit, what can help me? What do I need to know right now to get over there? Because I want to do this thing. And really, on our journey, we can just do that. And then all this stuff comes in. But forgiveness, so if you're a parent, forgiving yourself for um, all kinds of parenting mistakes. If you're trying to change a habit, forgiving yourself for doing the habit all the times before, all the times in the future, and you can forgive yourself even as you're doing something. Because even as we're doing the thing that we know maybe isn't great for us, like, I don't know, eating sugar, whatever, right? I can use my own examples of my own stuff right now. I think the last thing that I really need to kick is coffee. I don't have anything in it except some cream, but so forgiving myself as I drink a coffee. Uh, because there's still conditioning and stuff that I'm not quite ready to let that go. I'm not ready to move past that yet. And can I be okay with that? Right? So we can, it, it can be simple. It should be simple, and it is really simple. Really. We don't have to make the spiritual journey or the healing journey really complicated. The more simple that we make it, the easier that it is, the more likely we're going to do it. It's really just a rinse and repeat. I'll butcher it, the Hopo Wapu, what, the one, the Hawaiian chick, doctor, I love you, or I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you, mirror work, right? That is what I'm talking about. I will put a thing up in the video. That is probably the simplest, simple. Do it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Eventually you get somewhere, right? Shadow work. What is shadow work other than just looking at something that we've been rejecting, saying, "Hey, I'm really sorry that I rejected you and whatever, and I may not necessarily even like you or appreciate whatever, but I'm sorry and, can you forgive me?" And let's put that back within ourselves.
Do it up.
And so that brings me to a fun conversation topic that I had about fragmentation and about how we're already whole, just like all of creation is already whole, but it's made out of little pieces. And so when we are rediscovering and remembering who we are, we're having to do like shadow work, inner child work. All that is the, if we're a prism, right? I'm sure there's all kinds of awesome analogies out there about this, but if we're whole, which we are, and we're a prism, and our light soul's coming through this human body, which is the prism, and causes all kinds of fragments and different colors, the chakra system and stuff. And this body holds things, all these fragments that we are changing the frequency of and claiming those shadow aspects and transmuting the pain into more truth, higher vibration stuff, which it's all that it is that we're doing. So if we're a piece of the creator, and the creator it's a very interesting thing that I've noticed just in my own journey is that in thinking like, okay, I'm whole, but here I am juggling all these pieces that make up what I am and who I am. And I'm trying to integrate my masculine and right, these are all pieces of energy and pieces of ourself that we're kind of flopping around, just like the creator is kind of flopping around all things that are everywhere, right? How even it's a just very interesting thing to think about, don't you think? Um, if we're loving all of creation and everything around us. Okay, and that brings me to another really fun thing about experiencing vibration and what is matter. And there's all kinds of cool scientific stuff, but I like to think through experience and extrasensory perceptions. So, what is matter? How can we experience it? There's scientific stuff about matter is these little pieces of things that fuse together magnetically. I think it's one of the people that my husband watches, Ashton Forbes. He's really very interesting people on uh, that talk about science stuff. And when I listen to it, I always get these cool ideas. Um, and in there is like matter is just tiny pieces vibrating really fast that is magnetized together in some kind of predetermined pattern, right? And the thing is that we can actually perceive that, the differences in the maternal vibration, you just got to open your mind and want to perceive. Why would you want to perceive that? Because it's helps us to be creative, not creative, but it helps us understand ourselves and helps us feel one and helps us remember about what kind of we really are and encourages us to break away from the social conditioning and break away from the limits that limit us as a person, as a species. So, wouldn't it be cool if you could perceive the different density between this wood behind me and the cup of coffee in here, right? If you have a container and it has liquid in it, it's what is it? Oh, so really all it is just um, remote viewing, right? That's just sensing. You're just extrasensory perception, right? But anybody can do it, and you can extrasensory perceive things that you see at first. So you can look at something and wonder about it and just trust. I don't even know where I'm going with this, other than we can easily just transfer that conversation topic into psychic development and mediumship development. And well, what does that scientific matter, thinking about how everything's just vibrating and stuff, and that we can perceive that, how does that, what does that have to do with psychic development? What does it even have to do with healing our mental trauma, human healing from our human experience? And what does all have to do with becoming one, right? Well, it does because the more safe we feel in our body, the more willing we are to notice the sensations internally within our organs and how our body is doing things like the feeling of this, I don't even know, this is a twist tie, right? If we really, the more attention we put on what we're experiencing, what we're seeing, like really noticing what our body is physically seeing, smelling, hearing, the more that we're able to have that information available to interpret when we're using it, our sixth sense, our psychic abilities, extrasensory perception, to know about the vibration of a thing. Because really, our body is just antenna. It itself is nothing but vibrating particles of matter together in this configuration. So the more that we open to perceiving the sensations that our physical body is picking up, the more that we learn how that information comes through our medium, because our body is the filter that all the information comes through, even the extrasensory. It's the basis that our extrasensory information comes through. And so as we build our consciousness and awareness, it all ties in together. The more consciously and aware you smell, hold something, the more you're able to consciously perceive that with only your mind. There's exercise, psychic exercise, where you hold a lemon, orange, or whatever, and you look at it, you smell it, right? You cut it in half, you feel, oh, what's her name? Somatic psychic, I think she'd showed this exercise, but it just really got me thinking, like, we can do it with anything. And then you put that down after that experience, and then you, in your mind, give yourself that same experience again with nothing in your hand. You imagine it to such an extent that you feel it in your hand. We can do that with energy. That's how we perceive and can perceive and develop really amazing extrasensory perception or psychic abilities, and how we can how people can remote view better or whatever. It's how we can believe that this is an illusion or that we're all one. I don't even know where I was going with this conversation. It's just fun to talk about. Thank you for listening. Um, yeah, I think I might just go now. Those are just some fun thoughts that I've been having recently and wanted to share about stuff, feel and experience what the vibration was. Like in the Matrix, if when Neo is seeing all the numbers and all that stuff, right? That's just, you have the ability to see like Neo, this stuff all around. It's just, right? And so not do that as something fun to do? Maybe I'm just totally crazy. Um, this topic did originally start with forgiveness, though, right? Didn't it? Maybe I switched the video up a bit. Maybe we'll just randomly chop them, but at least I'll post videos. So, forgiveness. Um, the more clear and forgiving we are, the more we're willing to experiment and play to develop our psychic abilities. The more okay we are with being wrong, if we can know our inner child or whatever knows that we're going to be easily forgiven. So if my perception of, you know, remote viewing something, for example, or using the sticky hand technique, totally different topic. We're not going there. Anyway, um, it's okay to be wrong. It's fine. If I perceive something, the wrong vibration, that's fine because I forgive myself regularly, right? And it allows us freedom to explore, and um, all the programs are easy to rewrite when we're able to see how they helped us survive. Thank you. Thank you, past self, because I wouldn't be here right now if you didn't do these survival things that, yeah, right now I find really annoying, but I wouldn't be here if I didn't have that. So thank you. Thank you. I don't necessarily need you as much right now or at all or whatever. Yeah. And so it can change the frequency of the energy that's right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I hope that you have a great day and a great life. And that was a fun talk. Enjoy your human experience.